Barletta.
The gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for such time as he may consume.
Mr. Speaker, I thank Mr. King of New York for yielding, and I rise in support of my legislation, the Fusion Center Enhancement Act of 2017. I want to thank him and Chairman McCall for working with me to introduce this legislation. The purpose of my bill is to clarify and enhance the partnership between the Department of Homeland Security and the national network of fusion centers. The bill amends the existing statute to update the department's responsibilities for sharing information with state and local law enforcement and other emergency personnel within the national network of fusion centers. After the 9/11 terrorist attacks, state and local governments created fusion centers as a way to communicate federal Homeland Security information to state and local law enforcement officials, as well as fuse state and locally collected information with federal intelligence. Congress supported this partnership by mandating that the Office of Intelligence and Analysis within the Department of Homeland Security coordinate and share information with fusion centers. There are now 78 state and locally owned fusion centers across the country. I would especially like to recognize the work of the Pennsylvania Criminal Intelligence Center, PASIC, which is run by the Pennsylvania State Police. In 2015, our Fusion Center received the Fusion Center of the Year award from the National Fusion Center Association. I want to congratulate the men and women working at PASIC for their commitment to security and public safety. They share vital information with police departments that keep officers and our citizens safe. PASIC provides intelligence and information products to over 1,200 local, state, and federal criminal justice agencies, while also working with over 6,000 private and public center partners to also share information to help protect critical infrastructure and key resources. Our center has been nationally recognized for their training and compliance with issues of privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties. They produce documents that highlight threats and scams that target Pennsylvanians and help make sure that local police departments have information on public events ranging from Little League World Series to the visit of Pope Francis. A significant amount of progress has been made by states and fusion centers within the national network to improve information sharing and analytic support. Many centers, including PASIC, provide all-crime, all-hazard support. They also maintain a focus on our Homeland Security missions, including protecting critical infrastructure and sharing suspicious activity report. H.R. 642 recognizes the progress and focuses on enhancing the Department of Homeland Security's responsibility to support, share information, and coordinate with fusion centers. This includes improving coordination with other federal departments to provide better operational intelligence, reduce inefficiencies, and coordinate nationwide suspicious activity reporting. As a member of the Homeland Security Committee and a former mayor, I have heard concerns raised by law enforcement in my district and elsewhere about the lack of information and coordination from several DHS component agencies, including ICE and CBP. To address this issue, I included language in this bill to direct the department to ensure that each component is providing information and personnel to work with fusion centers. To address the need for better accountability, language is included throughout the bill requiring DHS to coordinate with fusion centers and state Homeland Security advisors in carrying out the assigned responsibilities. Additionally, there is a requirement for the department to submit a report to Congress on their efforts, including the components to support fusion centers, and specifically report on how they are meeting the requirements that are set forth in this bill. I urge my colleagues to support this bipartisan bill so that we can add important requirements and accountability in how the Department of Homeland Security interacts and shares information with key state and local stakeholders. I'll yield back my time.
The gentleman from Pennsylvania.